Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Dungeon Talks, where we talk the authentic and filtered reality of the happenings in the sports and fitness industry. Today, my guest is the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Powerlifting Federation, as well as this year's 93 Masters 1 champion. I'm speaking with
an overall master champion.
An overall Masters champion, though put some respect on the man name.
Exactly.
Put some respect on the man name. We are speaking with other than
Dale Hosten.
Dale Hosten on inside. Welcome to Dungeon Talks. Right. So first of all, I've told you before, but I will tell you again. Congratulations on being uh, nominated, well, appointed as the president of the Powerlifting Federation. Um, no doubt, I think it is probably one of the best times, or maybe the hardest times, to be the president of the. Because when you're in the inheriting a real, it would be the best time to be here, right? So, as you see it personally, right, what is the role of the president of the TTPF?
Well, firstly, before I even get into that, well, as you say, it is, yes, it's the best time, but also a very difficult time because, first I had to bring up the previous administration because,
Yes.
they put in a
Yes.
lot of work to get the federation to where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm only in the federation like 2 years now. So, from what I would have seen before I joined the federation to what I am experiencing now is completely night and day. And thank the previous federation for investing the time and everything to get us to this level here.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I agree.
Now, what is the role and responsibility of the president or even the executive of the TTPF? Is that I don't see myself as different from any other member of the TTPF because that's what I am. I'm just a member of the Trinidad and Tobago Powerlifting Federation that the collective federation has decided to make decisions on their behalf. All right, and that's exactly what I plan to do. I plan to, listen to the members on them and execute ideas so that when it's all said and done, it's for the good of the leaf.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that is basically what is the role of the president. The president is basically the face of the federation. So if it is that anybody has to answer to any bodies or any organizations, it would be me that would be listening to my members and taking their collective ideas or their collective stance or whatever, and just taking it to whatever organization that we have to speak to. So I'm just bargaining on their behalf.
Right. So that's good because I know you're not one of those people who are like in our office. Sometimes there are presidents' organizations and they don't even play the sport, right?
Yeah.
So you competed this year, and so you're still an athlete, and you're very much on the ground and know what's going on. Because if we've been honest, powerlifting is a very small fraternity,
very niche,
but very niche, right? So what do you think? Because you are the face, what do you think is the vision? Your vision and the voices on the.
Well, the voices on the ground is that we are just as big as all the other sports in Trinidad and Tobago. And I am a person coming from a multi-sport background, which I think you also are involved in a lot of sports as well, because I've seen a lot of interviews and a lot of people that you talk to, I would have had an experience with or know them because I have played hockey, I have done swimming, triathlon, running. I even dabble in a little water polo at a point in time. I am around a lot of sports and I know how those sports would have started off just as niche as powerlifting and how they have become household names, and powerlifting can become a household name within Trinidad and Tobago. We have internationally known athletes.
Yes.
Rondell just went away. He broke world records. Joseph winning juniors last year, coming third in open wheels this year. Zara coming fifth. Kezia. We sent a 4-person team, 2 men, 2 male, 2 female. The men came 7th out of 50 something nations represented.
Yes.
And the women came 14 out of 40 something nations represented, and that's just 2 people. So Trinidad could be a household name, and we could shed more light in the powerlifting sphere and just the athletic sphere in general in Trinidad and Tobago.
I agree, right? So do you think the drive in Trinidad and Tobago on the ground is that we all, as a federation, the members, want to be on the international stage? Do you think that's the general consensus of the niche power? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's like this now. As we say, powerlifting is something new, so is something that is not known because like I am a person who would have gone to gym, but is only like in 2023 I knew that powerlifting was a thing in Trinidad
Right.
because I went to the gym a day, I saw somebody who was training, I asked him if I could have working with him, right? And then I saw him like writing down some notes in a book and asked him like what he was doing. You see, he was getting ready for powerlifting. I was like, is that powerlifting Trinidad?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he was like, yeah, thing he told me about Damien Mohammed Classic. And then he asked me if I want to come and handle him. I was like, all right, cool. So I had to go and do a little research on YouTube to find out, like, where's the commands, where's the this, where's the that. And then after that, then I competed in nationals the next year. So before, I didn't even know powerlifting was a world in Trinidad because it was that small. But that being said, the same way how when someone is playing small goal in the road, right? I believe you and Ryan was talking about that. When somebody's playing small goal in the road, they are thinking about ending up playing
Yeah,
for
it could end up
like
that it could end it
like
could
for
yes, yes.
they're thinking about ending up playing for something bigger, or
Yes.
if they're playing FIFA on the PlayStation or whatever.
Yes.
They are in their mind thinking that here's what I could be somebody playing for Barcelona or Arsenal
Yes.
or one of these
Yes.
things and them.
Yes.
And similarly, these kids and them who are training in powerlifting or exposed to the sport, they think, or I would like to say, they believe that they are the next Rondell, they are the next Joseph, they are the next Kezia, they are the next
Right.
Zara.
Right.
So, people could think that they're delusional or whatever, but they have the potential to be that.
They do
They
have
just
the
have to put in the work.
correct. No, no. This is another important part of powerlifting or any sport in general, right? Is coaching, right?
Yeah.
In order to have a successful athlete, you need to have competent coaches. In your opinion, right? What comprises a competent coach?
So, and I'm glad that Ryan even spoke about that last time. But coaching really and truly it comprises of two things. So firstly, the first part about it is that, as you say, you need to be competent, you need to be knowledgeable, you need to actually know the sport. You can't just be a gym bro who does just be working out and whatnot. You have to actually know the rules of the sport. You have to actually know a little bit of the mechanics, probably even dabbling a little nutrition if it is that you need to keep your athletes in a certain weight class. But once you get beyond that point, it's more so you need to like know how to manage and counsel your athletes, because I saw someone was saying that coaching is really like, let me say, 20% actually training the person and like 80% dealing with different personalities. Because sometimes a person might come in that mightn't be feeling the best. You might have to realize as a coach that okay, maybe I need to get this person out of their head and think and whatever, or if this person actually dealing with something, maybe we should switch gears. And actually like how to keep the person engaged in the sport. But in Trinidad, we have a good coaches in Trinidad, right? And that's like on the club level, we have very good coaches. And even one of the things that is
Sorry, yeah,
in
sorry.
the
It's at club level, right? So you
Mhm.
would mean like the different gyms.
Yeah, so like the different camps, so like Neogen,
Right.
One Power, RSC, right?
So we have three.
Yeah, well, three
Yeah.
main camps. I think Strength Studio as well, which is like Ronel and Sanjeev, right?
Randall and Sanjay, right?
So
For
on that level, they have good athletes that they are training and they are tuning out, right? And then at the national level, because right now we only have two level two coaches, which is one is Chris from One Power and Ryan from Neogen. But what the federation is actually trying to do later on this year is send a 5-man team to the Dominican Republic so that we could have more level two coaches at our disposal, because the IPF has actually started to enforce a rule that you need to have a level two coach when you are sending a team to any event. So whether it be Worlds or NAPF or Commonwealth, we need to have a level two coach going with the athletes and them.
right. So obviously, well, when you're traveling, right, there's expenses that need to be covered and that kind of thing, right? Um, What is the financial state of the current federation?
Well, I mean, the financial state is, well, I mean, it's a non-profit organization. So we are building, and most of the income would come currently from like different sources, whether it be sanction fees or it be when we have meets or member registration. All right, but we're trying to move to a model where we are less dependent on that, where we are currently sending out tenders within the members, but we might actually think about making it public that we want to do a rebranding. So we're gonna have a logo competition where we actually have people send in new submissions so we could change the logo. All right, and we could start doing some merch. So you'll see some printed t-shirts, printed hats, branded pants, socks, and see if we can start generate revenues from those avenues as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you ask any NPO, most of their money comes from either the membership or the money would come from grants or sponsors or funding from the government. And
Okay,
we
so
are not as popular as the other sports and them,
right,
so obviously our piece of the pie will always
be
be smaller
smaller, right?
than everybody else's piece.
So that's what. So all right, cool. So we get into things
Yeah.
now. So like, all right, we understand it's a non-profit organization. We
Mm-hmm.
understand it comes from members, right? But ballpark numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the government, from all the sources, what is the kind of money coming into the federation per year, ballpark?
Well, I am now in, so I wouldn't. So we don't really have anything as yet. We're supposed to be sending out a budget, but the last budget that they were asking that would have been able for the federation to comfortably run
Mm-hmm.
would have been somewhere in the ballpark of like about $2 million, and
Two
that would
million
have
dollars.
been able for us to run at least 3 meets for the year.
Okay.
That would have been able for us to send a 16-person team to NAPF and bench NAPF and wills and these kind of things, and then we have other administrative costs that we have to pay, like we have to pay our accountants for auditing purposes. And as I said, because we are not as popular as the other sports and them,
Mm-hmm.
we would only probably get like about 10% of that. So you're looking at, we probably would be getting access to maybe $100,000, $200,000 from the government, which in retrospect is not a lot, right? That might only be enough to probably organize the coaches and them to go, so that the other athletes and them might still have to go and source alternative sponsorship.
So that is the thing, right? So we have athletes that, all right, they're successful, they need to go out onto the next level, right? Sometimes, and this is not unique to powerlifting, it happens all over in every sport.
Yep.
It's who could afford to go goes, and who
Yeah,
no.
boy.
Unfortunately, that's what it is, right? But do you think the responsibility is on the administration to solve those problems for the athletes, or do you think it's on the athletes to solve those problems for
Well,
themselves?
it's supposed to be a partnership, so to speak. So,
Right.
I mean, obviously, if it is that the athlete works hard and gets themselves to a level, the federation should be in a place where we could put them in the best possible place to win. Meaning that if it is that someone works hard, they work out the GRL height, the GRL big total, they qualify to go somewhere like Worlds,
Mm-hmm.
but they are lacking the funding. Ultimately, I would like the federation to be in a place where we could say, here's what is this in. We could at least take care of your accommodation and your championship fees, but you might probably have to come up with the cost for your flight. Right? And just as you say, I mean, Trinidad is not unique to that, because when it is you talk to the bigger countries and them like Canada,
Mm-hmm.
America, Great Britain, the government is not paying for them. It's not paying for them either.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those athletes have to come up out of pocket. I mean, recently I would have went to bench regionals in Panama.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was talking to those guys and them, they just mostly view these things as little vacations. So yeah, but they have to pay for their trips, they pay their competition fees, they pay everything else.
Do you think that's the sorry? Do you think that's the I guess the mentality of Trinidadians when we go internationally that hey, there's like a nice vacation, or do you think we're really in the mindset of like this is competition. I am putting my all into this because I mean, powerlifting is different for
Yeah.
everybody. For the people that you sent out in the time that you've been around, the time that you've been in the sport, what do you think is the mentality?
Well, is a mix of both. Now, when people going out, everybody will have the game face on. So I mean, normally, like okay, like with same bench press in Panama, right? Bench press is a one lift meet, so it's not as long as these other meets are them. So the competition was from Wednesday to Saturday. Right, we flew in on the Tuesday. So from Tuesday to Saturday, it was game phase. But after Saturday, I mean,
Of course,
we
yeah. Well, yeah,
sightsee,
naturally the
we
competition is over.
shop.
Right,
But
right.
between that time that the competition was on, now everybody was very serious about it. Everybody was, there trying to make weight, helping each other out, making sure that they get in your lives. Because I mean, we understand that when we go out there, we go out there to represent the country.
Right.
I mean, whether we pay our way or the government is paying the way for us, we know that when we go out there, we are an ambassador, not just for the sport, but an ambassador for the country. And I mean, and nobody wants to go out there and embarrass the country or embarrass the sport.
I like how you're talking, right? Because sometimes we work hard, right? Everybody works hard to travel and whatever, right? But we also know our competition. We
Yeah.
know who we're going up against. Like we know who we're going up against.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes you know to yourself, brother, on my best day, I not beating that person. And sometimes because of the number of people competing, it doesn't look that bad, but the disparity in like
Yeah.
totals does be crazy.
It is.
Right? So do you think that people should like we should go for the experience or actually put like when we going out there or at least even for the at the national level, right? Like we should have standards for
All right. So I will tackle the national level question
right,
first and then the international after.
right.
So on the national level, right? Because the question that was popped up before in your previous podcast, all right, it was hinted that we should probably have a standard just like the other countries because Canada does have that standard, and I think the USA does have that standard as well, where you need to have a specific total in order to compete at nationals. Right now, remember those countries and them are thousands of times bigger than our federation.
Yeah, fact.
So if they were to let every Tom, Dick, and Harry come,
right,
nationals might be about 2 months long in America. All right. So for them, in order to just get the cream of the crop out, that's what they would do. And honestly, I would love for a day where we have to tell people that here was the scene, we are only taking this amount of people for nationals. But just as I told you, a lot of the funding comes from people and them who come out to participate and people who come to watch.
right.
So, and the other part is that we are not really at a position yet where we have to like cap nationals. Now, ideally, I really believe that nationals probably should not be your first event. That you really should go to a meet before and get some kind of experience. So that when you do come to nationals, that's not the first time that somebody's telling you what the command is.
Right.
It's not the first time that you know that okay, your socks not supposed to be touching your sleeves and all those other intricate rules. Because a lot of people, as I say, they will go to the gym, they might see somebody just like me doing powerlifting, they will tell them how to join the federation, and then they might just come, they might do a little research on YouTube, and then they come to nationals. And nationals is probably not the best place to be making those mistakes.
I agree. So I obviously I would like to see the sport of powerlifting grow, right? I think it might be in the federation's responsibility to ensure that happens, right? They'll be probably the chief,
Yeah.
I guess what is your vision and how do you plan to execute on like growing the sport?
Okay, well, and before because I didn't answer your second part with the international.
Right,
now,
yes, sorry.
With the experience part, no, it doesn't make any sense sometimes to send somebody out and they're going to embarrass themselves and they're going to embarrass the country because, like, okay, let's just say I'm the 93 kg champion in Trinidad. I beat everybody else in Trinidad. Right? My total is 600.
Right.
Right? And then you're watching at the person who is going to win in worlds making 900.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a whole 300 kgs.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is, as you can see, that's very embarrassing, right? The disparity between the two of us might be embarrassing. But if it is that I go out there and I see exactly what is expected of me or what is expected of athletes at that world level, that might cause me when I come back to lock in to become better, because I have seen a change in Joseph since he went to the first worlds. I've seen a change in Rashawn since he went to the first worlds, his world juniors and whatever, in the way they train and the way they execute. Even the guys that went to NAPF, the way how they take the sport serious. I mean, there's still a little jokes and whatever, but the way that
Naturally,
they
they're
take the
humans.
sport
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
serious,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
because they went to another level. Even myself, even what I experienced when I went to Panama just for that single lift, has kind of changed my way on thinking of how things should be run back home here as well.
Example.
So, like, all right, like for instance, like it have like, and I mean, and this might be even very minuscule, but when we went across, they gave us some notepads to like write our attempts on, which is vastly different from the pieces of paper that we just get. And that's something that I would like to implement going forward.
Okay.
All right. And I mean, just the general air and how they take things serious when it comes to warm ups, starting on time, the technical meetings. Now, all these things that I might have never experienced if I did not go out there and experience that. All right. I mean, even just like how they conduct a meet is things that I would say, well, okay, I like how this experience was for me, and I think I would like to bring that experience to our national level.
Right.
So I mean, somebody might never make a team over, but at least they could still get that international feeling back here in Trinidad.
So that's good. That's good, because even at the national level, obviously you compete, right?
Yeah.
From an athlete's perspective, what could nationals or even just the local meets do to make the athlete experience more comfortable?
All right. So just as I say, now the national meets and like club meet is like two different things.
Yes. Yes.
Right. And I mean, something that would assist nationals and even the club meets and them is sponsors injecting money into the meets. Because the more money that we have is the more experience that we could give the athletes and them. Right? Because like something that I really would like to do coming from like the first nationals is give people proper medals. Right? I mean, people probably might think that is something small, but I mean, getting like a proper unique medal, not just the generic one that you could go by prestige awards and get, but get like an actual proper medal.
Yeah.
I mean, these 5Ks them can be having better medals than us.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
So I mean, giving the athletes and them some proper medals and them so that they could put in the display case, they could show to the kids and the grandkids and whatever. That is something that I would like to invest in. Because I mean, it had, like, and as I say, it had like real ideas that I would have, and I mean, and I just like to just create the experience, because I mean, we already have a ranking system. I mean, one of the ideas that I had that I still have to like share with the executive to see how they feel about it is that basically whoever is the top ranked person in that weight class, they get a belt. Like, oh, yes, you have championship belt in wrestling.
Okay.
And if you are at the top, you have that belt. If somebody beats you, they could take their belt from you.
Okay.
Another thing that is a nice idea for like awards and whatever is just like how when you win the NBA championships, yes, get a ring. If you win the thing, however, instead of getting a medal, you might get a ring instead. So, you know, all these things and them is ideas that I have just to make the sport, you know, a little more, you know, a little more fun or a little more palatable or a little more marketable, so that people could, you know, because we lived in the day and age of digital media where, I mean, clicks and likes is what is make or break a brand, right?
Right.
And I mean, more unique things that people see or experience, they would share it. And I mean, it might gain some virality, and then it will bring more eyes and more popularity to this sport, because the only way that this sport is going to be recognized, because this is something I have known from since I was a child. Trinidad is a bandwagon country.
Right. Talk about it.
They
Talk about
do
it.
not give
Talk
you
about it. Talk
any
about it.
flowers
Talk about it.
until you do something.
Yeah.
I ain't know if my other cut the part.
No.
As I said,
This general consensus from everybody that this is what it is.
no,
This is what it is.
and
Everybody.
I know. And just yesterday, I was explaining. I mean, somebody was talking about this. Nobody knew or cared who Keyshawn Walcott was
Sucks.
until he won.
I would love to talk to Keyshawn Walcott.
No, serious. Nobody knew or cared who Keyshawn Walcott was until he won, and then everybody right back after that. It's the same thing. I mean, yes, we have that kind of party culture, or whatever. But us, you could go to a cricket match and talk to people in the audience and ask them who is playing. They don't know. Name players. They don't know. But the party, and because of them, is aligned.
Here's the thing, right? I've said this before, right? Maybe some sports, and I think personally, powerlifting is one of them. They're just not exciting to look at.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's real boring to watch powerlifting though. Like, no, it's a great sport to compete in, but you do not want to watch that.
No, it's kind of like golf, right?
It's exactly
so
like golf
it have the enthusiasts or whatever, but I mean, golf have money in it, and it have a prestige about it as well. Now, I mean, also it have ideas that we are working with as well to try and make powerlifting a little more exciting, right?
Like, I would genuinely love to. If a T20 powerlifting is already
it. No, it is. No. We are. I mean, I don't even know if I should leak the idea.
No. I mean, come on, let me go.
I don't know if I should leak the idea. All right, but it's something that that me and Chris have been flirting with the idea of, right? And just as they say, that's exactly the idea, because that's the progression that I was talking about. That one day Test cricket was long and boring.
Right, and then we short.
Then one day was a little more exciting but still boring, and then T20 fast pace it is over in a couple of hours. It's stay engaged, however. So what we was thinking about is tackling two aspects, right? One, the fact that meets and them can't be frequent, because I mean it takes a lot to go into a meet and prepare for a meet and whatever. So what we was thinking about having is a powerlifting relay. So basically is a team of 3 people and 1 sub. Every team must have a girl on it. Everybody does one lift. Right? Everybody does one lift. So you pick a person to do squats, you pick a person to do bench, you pick a person to do deadlift. Right? But here the T20 part coming. You only have 2 attempts. So you only have,
each person have 2 attempts.
Yeah, so you only have 2 attempts on the squat, you only have 2 attempts on the bench, you only have 2 attempts on the deadlift.
Right.
And then here what the kicker is.
Right.
Aside from you having now 1 sub or whatever, right? You have a 3rd attempt that you could put in on any one of the lifts.
Okay, so you have so you have 6 and then 7 to make a total, basically.
Yeah, so you could or you could not use it, but you just have that in your back pocket just in case that you need. Like, okay, like let's say it's me, you, and a female, right, and you have the biggest pull or whatever, right? So I do my 2 squats, she do her 2 bench, you do your 2 deadlift, and then you realize that, hey, here is the scene. For us to beat the other team, boy,
we need our last deadlift.
We need our last deadlift for us. So we will say, well, we take your last deadlift. So it's just to add a new element on it. I mean, obviously, is not the typical powerlifting. So it will be something like more fun.
I like that.
And then the thing about it, it also solves the problem of all that dead time in between. Because remember, if it's one person, after I do my squat, I do take a break, I do warm up for the bench. But in this case now, after I do my squat, or the flight with squats finished, we could move straight into the bench.
So I
move straight into the deadlift. So it actually condenses the need from probably like the 3 hours into like about an hour and a half.
I love the idea. I like how you're talking, right? But let's talk real, right?
Yeah.
I would like to see that. But we have meat cost, right? We have the manpower to set it up. We need the space to actually have all these people and the equipment to be running the the warm-up rooms and whatever, right? And then obviously in terms of but what we have right now, right? You think that's a feasible idea, like with what we have?
And that's what I say. That is where the buy-in from sponsors comes, right? Because as on a national level, like for the national competitions, which would be the national championships, which is the 3 lift meets, and the national bench, which is the 1 lift meet. I mean, because of how the rules are set up and whatever, we can't pay athletes cash prizes or whatever. We could probably give them like a hamper. We probably give them a, we could probably give, yeah.
Wait, actually, was the, because I one of my ideas, I probably said it before, was that I was like, bro, to be, I guess it also depends on what your vision is or what your goal is for powerlifting as a person, right? Because some people in Trinidad
Yeah.
have the opinion that, brother, this is a high level sport. We need to take this seriously. We have the people that could actually be on that level, right? And there are those who I am lifting heavy because I like it, right?
Yeah.
And so what you're saying, right, is a great idea for like exposure to the sport and for bringing the people in, right? But how would that actually translate to benefiting the?
No, and that was saying. So, like on the national level, so the national 1 lift, national 3 lift meets, and I think it's probably because it falls like kind of under the purview of the TTOC, which is the Olympic Committee.
Right.
They see all those people and them as amateurs, and they have some a very arbitrary rule that they don't pay amateurs. There's the reason why you don't get paid at the Olympics.
Yeah.
But
Athlete,
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Because like even if it's an amateur boxer or whatever, you don't get paid for your fights and things like that, right? Now, as a professional, which is what you would end up being constituted if you end up participating in like a club meet, you can get paid in those meets. So that's why you see like the 1 power meet might pay you, the raw meet might pay you, why Sheffield would pay you, Avancas would pay you, because those are not national level meets. Those are like club meets. Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, even like if we end up doing the T20 or whatever, we would have that same structure where we could pay people because that would not be a national level meet. Right. So we could actually get sponsors because, as I said, if it's something entertaining or something marketable, right, that we could get some sponsors to give us some money, we could get people to buy into it, then we could give back that money to the athletes, because powerlifting is a easy sport to be a hobby in, but to actually do it on a big level, it is very expensive.
Yeah.
A belt is about $1,500. A shoes is about $1,500. Singlet is about $1,000. Knee sleeves are $1,000. Wrist wraps are $500. So, and these are things that you need to do the sport.
Yeah.
Right? Because I mean, it's not like swimming. Swimming, you just pour on a speedo and you're in the pool, right? You pour on a cap. But these things it have costs to actually buy into the sport.
Not even that, right? So there's that, but I'm referring more to the structure, like the legislative run like a nationals, or even run a club meet, right? What do you think? Again, ballpark numbers is the to run a meet, to set up.
So all right. So if it is that you want to throw a meet, you are looking that you will have to put out at least about $30,000 to $40,000. All right.
You could get my breakdown.
All right. So breakdown. So if it is, so what happens firstly is that if it is that you want to have a sanctioned meet in Trinidad and Tobago, you have to get it sanctioned by the TTPF, and that will come at the cost of $9,000. Right. And if it is that you would like us to provide you with the competition plates along with the plates for and the competition racks for your warm-up area, that will be an additional $1,500. So just off to get the
sanction and
the sanction and the weights to run your meet, that is already, you're looking at 10.5. Right. Now you're talking about venue. Now a venue going to run you about $5,000 minimum. Right. So venue cost, I know to that is $15,000. Let me say you're expecting about 100 people, so you need chairs. A chair is $5, so on. So that is 500. So we had $16,000 there, right? After that, we are talking about you need to get medals, probably some trophies. If you want to stream, right, just to get the streaming set up, and this is on the very low end, because I know Chris Sublet's media team that does his stuff, because they normally do nationals for us, and that is normally at the cost of about $3,000 or $4,000 a day. All right, so we up to about $20,000 now. All right, um, and as I say, the costs just keep going up. But a safe figure to play with is at least about $30,000 for you to have a nice international level meet. And I would say that from, as I say, from going to Panama and even watching nationals and these other kind of meets and them, Trinidad, or the level that Trinidad is at right now is on par with the international level.
In terms of
In
athletes, in
terms
terms
of
of
athletes, in terms of the show, in terms of the broadcast, everything.
so okay, so that's great news to hear. Um, there was something we were before you said the broadcast that I was gonna talk about. Um,
Because I said broadcast, venue,
right, right,
chairs,
right, right.
yeah.
Oh, right. So you said we were looking at about 100 people, right,
Yeah.
coming to the thing, right?
And there's a small amount earlier.
So I guess so. What I'm genuinely asking is like, what is the realities financially of the federation? Like, are we breaking even when it comes to like
Well,
when we try and meet? Are we? What is
well,
the revenue? You know what I mean?
well. Honestly, nationals this year was very profitable because I mean across the spans of the 2 days we had enough people. So when we had this meet in January, we were in the green. We actually were in the green after the meet was done, right? And I mean, and I attribute that to the work of the past administration. I mean, also the PR team, they did wonderful work marketing, and I mean, and they always do, because they always have like a little mini series to
Yeah,
engage
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
public.
yes, yes, yes,
And
yes, yes,
then
yes, yes.
it have this fan page called, I think it's Iron Files. They as well, they would help with promotion. You know, they would try and build storylines, because I mean, stories is actually what is sell your
One
sport.
hundred percent.
If people don't realize, stories is what is actually sell our sport. Is actually get that buy-in, and I think that
Yep.
is also what powerlifting, not just in Trinidad, but on a whole, the lacking is that, because that individual sport, unless it's having like a rivalry or something, people wouldn't really buy into it. Because, like, for
Yeah.
instance, the 120 class this year was like one of the most watched classes. Why? Because Rondell was coming back. Everybody wanted to see what Rondell was doing. Right? Etienne had win last year. They
Yeah.
want to see if it is he could retain his crown. Ashton now went up. He scored 400.
No, this year, yeah,
So,
this year was
right,
dread. This year was dread.
Joseph is coming up. Right? Joseph and Joshua had a little battle going on between the two of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So when people see that, they want to know what is going on. But I mean, if it is that they know that this guy is going to win automatically, they probably mightn't buy in on that. Or if they just don't really know the backstory or the struggle that somebody was going through, they ain't really going to tune into it. So, but once it is that you can sell somebody a story, they would want to watch the story. And it's just on our PR team to create that narrative, because like at nationals, right? So our nationals, like almost every single week class had something going on, right? So it was Rondell coming back. If Joseph going on kind of game and run, it had Caleb and Joshua was battling in 105. It had the 93s and them with Kevin and I can't remember this guy name, but he real strong and he coming up, right? Then in the 83s, it had Cameron, Lejeune, all these people and them. It had Rashawn, who did make weight the year before, so you're making weight this year. And then on the female side, it had Zara, it had Kezia, it had Jay. So I mean, it had a lot of interest around everybody who was in nationals this year. So it was a great show, and that, and because of that, and because the PR team along with the fan page was kind of selling that story to everybody who wanted to see what was going to happen.
What is the current size in terms of members, active members
All
in
right.
the
So active members currently right now we probably at about 120 active members, and that is
120? Okay.
inclusive of athletes, competing athletes, and non-competing members. All right. The referees and them we up to, I believe it is 36. So 18 male, 18 female. So as I said, we have the membership base and the official power to actually put on a good caliber show.
The referees having to be paid by the federation? Is it a
Yeah,
voluntary thing? Is
nah.
it?
So basically, the referees and them are compensated by the federation. So that is where the sanction fee would come into to play. So once it is that we are collecting something, we would be able to compensate the referees, because obviously we would want to come to maintain a level,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maintain a certain international level, that we know that here's what your meet, even though it's not a national meet or whatever, your meet would be at that national or international standard, that somebody could come to your meet, they could break records, and and they know that they would be in good hands at your meet.
Mm. Mm.
And well, obviously, we have spotters as well, that we would also have to pay spotters as well.
So all right. So we spoke about obviously renting chairs, the equipment costs. Um, I guess for in terms of paying personnel,
Mm-hmm.
what does that cost for a day ballpark?
Um, so it all depends on how much officials that we have, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
paying personnel might probably run you into about $6,000-7,000 to pay personnel, and that is paying the referees, paying the spotters, having gate staff. Well, I mean, if it's your event, obviously you would have gate staff, but if it's like the national event, where we would have gate staff,
Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, you're looking at probably like about maybe $7,000 and that's a day, to comfortably have enough officials to run the meet smoothly.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Recently I saw some powerlifters. They got some funding from the.
Yeah, from the government.
How does that program work? Are you aware of it?
Oh, so basically, there is something called an elite program, and any athlete with
Mm-hmm.
that is a national athlete of Trinidad and Tobago can access this funding. So what you need to do is you need to be ranked in the top 10
Mm-hmm.
in the sport, and it needs to either be like at a world level or Commonwealth level. And I
Okay.
mean, unfortunately, we access worlds and we access Commonwealth as well. So I mean, once this you are performing at that level, you could write to the ministry. I mean, obviously, the federation would furnish you with a letter as well,
Right.
and then you would list out your accolades. Let them know, oh, well, I went to Commonwealth
Mm-hmm.
and I placed first, and then you will let them know that these were the costs and them associated with my training, my coaching, and all these different things and them. And then, well, if they realize, well, okay, cool, you're doing good service for the country. Because I mean, as you would have seen in that same thing, you would have seen that, well, Tiana was there, Keyshawn was there, it had a lot of other runners and them were there. So according to what is that you would have listed with your expenses, they would, I don't know if they would cut a check at for 100% of what you would have listed, but I sure thought they would try to offset the cost by as much as is allowed in their budget. Or
Mm. Mm.
but it need to be somebody who is going out internationally and winning. So it's the same thing. I look back to the same thing that you say. So it's not just because you're on the national team and you go away and you come back that you could now go and approach the government and tell them, well, okay, I went away and I did a meet. So thing now you have to actually show them that you're actually bringing back a return on their
Yeah,
investment
yeah,
before
yeah,
they
yeah,
invest in you.
yeah, yeah. So all right, we have athletes on the international stage. Do you see a pipeline to have continued success? And if so, like name them.
All right, so I saw you mentioned that, and that is one of the things in our plan for the next. So we have like a short, medium, long term,
Mm-hmm.
and that is in all three parts of that. That we have some workshops that we want to start doing. So we want to start doing workshops, and we want to start doing workshops in schools, because
Yeah.
if it is that we could get to the kids in school, then we could start to filter them in, because they were saying that Rondell is up there in his 30s. I mean, Joseph is in his 20s. But it have the young ones coming up already, because we do have juniors and sub juniors who putting up some good
Some good
totals,
tutors. Yeah.
some real good
Mm-hmm.
totals, and I mean, it have this guy Chris Manley.
Mm-hmm.
He now finished Form 6, and
Mm-hmm.
he putting up some real
Mm-hmm.
some
Mm-hmm.
real good numbers,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you see, and the thing about it is that you see, aside from the federation doing it, this is something that should be done by all the members, because
I
at the
agree.
end of the day, you are an ambassador of your sport. If you want your sport to grow, yes, you have elected these particular members to be the executive, but that doesn't mean that you don't stop promoting your sport. So it is the job of every single powerlifter within Trinidad and Tobago to try and promote the sport. Because my aunt, she's from Turks and Caicos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a tourism country. She teaches tourism and hospitality in the school across there. And she says the motto of the country is tourism is everyone's business. And that should be the motto of every single powerlifter, that powerlifting is all of our business.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Dale is the president, Yab is the VP, the general sec. But I am a powerlifter. I want to see my thing grow.
Yeah.
So if
Mm-hmm.
I see somebody and they are looking like they should be in powerlifting, or they would be a good powerlifter, I should probably guide them in the correct direction as to how to get into this thing, how to promote it. Every time that you're in a room or something, you should probably plug powerlifting. All right, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how powerlifting will grow. That's
Mm-hmm.
how it would that would actually make our jobs a lot easier in
Right.
terms of selling powerlifting to the wider audience, because they would already know about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but we are trying to develop like more workshops where we could invite people to come and break that stigma that because a lot of people, even though because and they might even know it, but because you have been in sports for a very long time, you would have a bias to certain things,
You're right.
because
We
a
all
lot
have.
of
Yeah.
people and them, even though they might go to the gym, they have a different view of how
I agree.
powerlifting is, right?
Yeah.
And then powerlifting itself does have a stigma. So, cause like even up to today, right? Like some of my friends, they still ask me if I doing bodybuilding. I was like, cause I
Yeah.
was
That's
never.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
cause
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
done
Yeah.
bodybuilding in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. I was like, yeah, but it's the liver. I say no, that is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
bodybuilding,
Yeah.
right? And then people would,
Or you're weightlifting.
and then people would mistake it for weightlifting. So
Yep.
they asked me about that clean and snatch, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, I could do that, but that's not what we do.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
All right, and so we need to educate people as to what it is we are actually doing,
Yeah.
right? And break that stigma. Because another stigma that people have is that powerlifters fat and the lazy and looting. But what is and I mean that probably was true at a point in time long ago. But when you look at the powerlifters and them now, the rip, the
Yeah.
strong, the cut up, look at
Yeah.
Caleb.
Yeah.
Look at these people and them. These people them looking like they probably one cut away from it and stepping on a bodybuilding stage.
I have a little side note to take it back
Yeah,
to the kind of elite level thing, right? And you spoke about the schools,
yeah.
right? Part of being that maybe this is not necessarily your question, but you
Mhm,
see what I'm saying, right? Part of being an athlete is obviously training, right?
mhm.
And if we're getting children from schools,
Yeah.
right, more than likely they themselves don't have the financial capabilities and we don't know the financial situation that they coming from, right? Do you think the federation is equipped to have a program where maybe we finance the training on that particular program to develop long stream success?
So yes, and I mean this is things that we talk about. It's something that's not going to happen overnight. And I mean, this probably mightn't be like a one-term thing. This probably might take
How long is your term?
4 years.
Okay.
So this might, so let's just say I'm only here for one term. This might probably be my term and whoever term is after me to get this done. But I would at least like to put down the building blocks of it. And even if I am not voted back in, I mean, if I could be brought on the committee to continue it, but we really would like to get into the schools and them, and obviously it mightn't be in the school. I mean, the same way, like okay, like when I was in Southeast, right? Southeast doesn't have a pool, but we used to go to Flying Fish Pool
Yeah,
to
yeah,
train.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So similarly, I mean, if it is that, let's just say we link up with that school across the Barataria, we could bring them to this gym here
Mm-hmm.
and we could train them here. I mean, if it is that we in going to presentation boys or whatever, we could carry them to strength studio because strength studio is right
Right
there.
there, yeah,
So
yeah.
we don't necessarily have to carry the equipment to the school, because if there is enough
No, I
yeah,
100% agree.
yeah,
But
we
then,
could get a shuttle, we could shuttle them to the gym.
true.
The only thing that, as I say, we would have to get a partnership is with a space to train them
Yeah.
and with a coach to train them.
Yeah.
Now, and similarly, just as okay, I went to secondary school and I was training at Flying Fish Pool, and that would have been like 2 days a week. Now, if me or my parents realize that okay, he has some talent, I would join the club,
Mm-hmm.
and then my parents would take up that financial responsibility because they realize I have a talent, so they would pay a coach for me to take me to another level. Same thing
Mm-hmm.
with running.
Mm-hmm.
My
Yeah,
school
yeah.
might have been taking me to running otherwise, or even in water polo. They might have realized that okay, we play water polo in CIC pool or down by Flying Fish or never Flying Fish down by
Yeah,
like
yeah.
with Marlins,
Marlins, yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And then they would have realized that hey, he has some talent, or a coach might have been like, hey, you know what, you have some talent. I'm gonna talk to your parents. It's the same thing that could happen because really and truly, what it is that I would like to do is, and this also comes from going to international competitions, is meeting with colleges to see if it is that okay, if we could talk to them to see if we could get scholarships for these kids and them to go away and power lift and go to school. Same way like people go away and swim and run and these kind of
Mm-hmm.
things. And I mean, and that and as well too would gain some interest in kids and them coming on to power lift. So the ideas for the pipeline are there. It's just that it will take some work. I mean, it have one or two sub juniors on them, and I mean when they go back to their school, obviously they will tell their friends about it, and their
Mm-hmm.
friends might inquire. And so who knows? Because I mean, the full in 2024 we had one, probably like one sub junior, which was Naeem.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year we had two, so it was Naeem. Actually, it was Naeem and the next guy the first year. Then it was Naeem and the next guy and Antonio, and then now it's our Manley. So is people the senior friends doing it,
And
and
it
they
gradually,
are coming into the sport.
yeah.
But we could also reach out to schools and see it, and then who knows, we could probably have like a, just like with our intercol, we could have like a secondary school
But
powerlifting meet.
that's all like future and like
Yeah, so that's probably maybe within the next 8 to 10 years, we could probably try to see if that could materialize.
so. So all right. So for your term, right? So I guess this is a final question I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
ask you, right? For your term, what are the goals that you attempt to accomplish
All right, so
by the
goals that I attempt to accomplish, right? Firstly, I would like to bring a standard to the sport within Trinidad and Tobago, right? And that comes with a couple of things. So, firstly, I want to start implementing ID cards to the athletes and them. So, you have the athlete's name, the weight class, or me not at the weight class, because I know people do change weight classes, but
Mhm.
name and your TTPF number. So at least that information is readily available. Because I know myself that anytime I have to sign up to a meet, I just have to go back into my saves to see
See,
what
see what? Yeah,
to
yeah,
see
yeah,
what
yeah,
number
yeah,
is.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Right,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
if it is that you have it
yeah.
in your pocket like an ID card, you can pull it out,
Right, yeah, yeah.
and then
And
you
you
can
get with your registration or something.
exactly. And
Right.
then when you come to the meet, you can also present that at the gate to let them know, well, yes,
I'm an
I
athlete.
am an athlete. This is my number. It is current. It is up to date, whatever the case is. So I just want, secondly, to build an identity. So what I would like for us to start doing is start wearing a uniform. And that,
Okay.
I don't want to be nothing too fancy. It could just be a polo with just our logo on it. And obviously, it have two stipulations with that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wear a polo when you come to meetings, and you wear a polo when you make your media appearances. All right.
All right.
So you're looking
All
professional.
right.
The entire federation is looking professional,
Mm-hmm.
and at least when it is that we go, there is a representation. Because, and I mean, and you see this with other federations, whenever they go somewhere and you see everybody in one color or one uniform, it has bring awareness there. Because I mean, 20 people in the same thing,
Yes.
it brings awareness. People
Yes.
walk up to want to know who is
Who?
this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah.
So that is that. The next thing that I would like, that I have in the works as well too, is that I would like to host nationals at a hotel.
Okay.
All right. So will it be, well, the ultimate goal is Hyatt. If it is, I could never convince them to give us Hyatt, but
Mm-hmm.
Radisson, Holiday Inn, I would like to hold it at a hotel. And the reason why I like to hold it at a hotel is because my ultimate goal is to have at least an APF bench in Trinidad and Tobago. All right,
Within
so
your 4 years.
within my 4 years, I want
All
to have
right.
an APF bench in Trinidad and Tobago. And within my 4 years, we are having nationals in Tobago.
I like that.
Right? So that is like, I mean, I don't know how grand those goals are, but
Yeah.
I want to have nationals in Tobago, and I want to have an NAPF bench before I leave this first term here.
That's talking about Tobago, because it's Trinidad and Tobago,
Correct.
right? Bro, what is the state of powerlifting in Tobago, if it even is a
Well,
state in Tobago?
the state of powerlifting in Tobago is Bago Beast.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I know,
Yeah.
and I know he's holding it down across there, and I'm sure, just as they say, financial constraints and whatnot. So I really would like to show the brothers some love and carry the competition across there, because I know Tobago loves powerlifting, and they have some very strong people across from Tobago, because I mean, Jay is originally from Tobago, right? Penny family is from Tobago, so there is a lot of strong people in Tobago. And I mean, if it is that we could have the competition across in Tobago, that could bring a whole new avenue of new lifters and them that probably want to get in the sport, but I mean, they don't know about the logistics of coming across to Trinidad, because I mean, even when Joel comes across here, somebody will have to house him.
Yeah.
Somebody will have to take care of him for the
Mhm.
2 days that he across here. Because I'm sure he's not just coming for the competition and just leaving after.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would probably have to come in from like the Thursday or the Friday before. And then he wouldn't just leave the Sunday, he might probably leave the Monday or the Tuesday. So all that is, you have to stay somewhere. Now, everybody mightn't have the resources that he has to come across and have somebody keep him and house him.
Yeah.
But if it is that we having it in Tobago, I'm sure a lot more Tobagonians might be interested in coming out and competing.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I really would love to have a nationals in Tobago within the next 4 years. And as I say, I really would like to be able to bid and secure an APF bench press competition in Trinidad.
That's good ideas.
Yeah.
Deal? I think that's.
Oh, and well, a national singlet.
Okay.
And a national singlet.
National singlet. How will the ramifications for again a national singlet? Like, do we have to really have to get sanctioned from the IPF?
Well, it have two. Well, it have a couple ways. So one, you could either partner with one of the people in them who make singlets,
right?
Or I mean, currently I'm in talks with A7 to try and see if we could do a customized one. So we could just so we could customize one, send it to them.
That's good.
And they would print it for us. So we were trying to probably think about do like a limited run of that, probably do like about 50 or 60.
Right.
If they're interested, they could put on a down payment.
I'm sure people will be interested.
So so that they could have a singlet, because I mean, now, as I say, the culture of powerlifting has changed so much, right? That when people go away, they like to trade, right? So, because like as I say, when I went to bench, I traded a t-shirt, got a t-shirt, I traded a t-shirt, I got a singlet. So people want to trade singlets, people want to trade t-shirts, and I mean, and obviously you would want like a Trinidad and Tobago singlet to exchange with somebody. So, and then the other way is that if it is one of your lifters and then make it to Sheffield, which has happened, they will make a national singlet for that lifter.
Yes.
Right. So I mean,
we are singlet inside. We are thinking.
So by the end of the year, they would probably reveal a Trinidad and Tobago singlet for Ronell, and then I guess it would be for the federation to reach out to them to find out, how does the national team go about paying to access the singlet.
Perfect. Well, I think no better way to end that deal. That's what coming true. And another episode of Dungeon Talks. Catch you in the next one later.
All right.